यशोदनंदन व्रज जन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन
जन यशो बिहारी हरे कृष्ण राम राम हरे राम राधा गोविंद श्री राधे हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
सुनाई दे रहा है? बोल।
हाँ प्रभु जी अभी ठीक है।
इसको डालना ओके So start prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dalati Swapadati Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Saji Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Charine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Panshatya Deshata Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauraki He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Lachalanivasaaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadravyam Jagannathaye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कम करोति वाचालं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। Hare Krishna. So all the devotees, thank you for joining for today's Bhakti Shastri class. Successfully, first part got over. Bhagavad Gita part got over. Class wise is over. Exam wise, I don't know what has happened. Exam devotees are writing, Avnish Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Today I will send the assignment.
Huh?
Today I will send the assignment. Raghunath was yesterday.
3 units exam, na?
Yes, Prabhu. Second unit
One.
I have sent already. First and second unit. Third unit today I will send. OB exam. CBA only unit one has been taken.
ठीक है, बाकी conduct करो. So as I heard that Bhagavad Gita course got over successfully. So hopeful that something you have learned. कुछ तो गया होगा अंदर सब में से. कोर्स भक्ति शास्त्री कोर्स बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, दीक्षा के लिए भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है और अपने जीवन में एप्लीकेशन के लिए भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. शिल प्रभुपाद वांटेड इट, राइट? भक्ति शास्त्री, देन भक्ति वैभव, देन भक्ति वेदांत, देन भक्ति सार्वभौम. सो अभी आगे बहुत रास्ता बहुत है आगे. तो ये तो शुरुआत है भक्ति शास्त्री का. उसमें भगवद गीता पार्टी हुआ अभी. Of course, nectar of instruction is left to all of you to read because already इसके ऊपर बहुत क्लासेस हो गया और आप लोग ऑलरेडी बहुत प्रैक्टिस कर रहे होंगे. 11 वर्सेस तो ऐसे ही छवा लिए होंगे. 10, 9, 10, 11 छोड़ के बाकी 8 वर्ष एटलीस्ट एक्सपेक्टेड है कि प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए. और आज टुडे विल डिस्कस फ्रॉम नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन some part of it because of course nectar of devotion I felt that's not required because already sufficient हो गया. बट प्रभु फील हो रहा है कि नहीं होना चाहिए क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे साधन भक्ति के बारे में आता है. क्योंकि आजकल बहुत रागानुगा देख रहे हैं तो थोड़ा साधन भक्ति के बारे में बताना पड़ेगा लोगों को कि साधना भक्ति क्या होता है. नहीं तो लोग रागानुगा पारकीय भाव, ऑफकोर्स स्वकीय में तो नहीं जा रहे हैं लोग, बोले कि वो तो नीचे हो गए, पारकीय में चले जा रहे हैं. तो इसीलिए थोड़ा सा साधन भक्ति क्या होता है, रूप गोस्वामी साधन भक्ति के बारे में बताया है इस नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन में. तो प्रभु चाहते हैं कि और थोड़ा बेसिक्स का और थोड़ा सा एक बार डेफिनेशन ठीक से हो ताकि लोग रूट्स में पकड़ के रखेंगे. नहीं तो फिर रूट्स छूट जाएगा तो रागानुगा चक्कर में वैधि ही साधना स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ अभी तो फिर दिक्कत हो जाएगा. तो इसीलिए इसको नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन को फिर से लिया जा रहा है. उसके बाद थोड़ा ईशोपनिषद भी लिया जाएगा फिर से, ब्रशिंग जस्ट ऊपर ऊपर से, ताकि कुछ टेंट्स जो देख रहे हैं 2-3 साल से, खास करके जो पास आउट हो के एलुमनाई लोग जो गए तो उस सब टेंट्स को थोड़ा सा रिफ्रेन करेंगे तो जीवन में अच्छा रहेगा आगे. तो आज चर्चा होगी नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन, राइट? नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन इज रिटन बाय, यस, हु रोट नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन? What said Prabhu?
Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Ah, that's what I was looking for. Nectar of Devotion is written by Srila Prabhupada, right? And Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is written by Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is written by Sure. लॉक कर दिया जाए. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Devashish Prabhu. Bhakti Rasam Sindhu is written by whom? कहाँ गया आया? हाँ, yes sir. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Rupa Goswami.
Yeah, Rupa Goswami has written it, right? So that Rupa Goswami, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a summary study written by Srila Prabhupada as Nectar of Devotion. Right? It's a summary study. Because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in itself, definitely these four books which are read in Bhakti Shastri, can anybody say that why these four are only there in Bhakti Shastri course? Okay. Philosophy who is the supreme. Then know who is the supreme is how the essential supreme is Gita. Okay. Bhagavad Gita and Isopanishad बोल दिए. हाँ. Nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction बोलिए. Isopanishad, right? Mrinal Prabhu is saying that it is about who is God. Bhagavad Gita speaks about details of that description. भगवान कौन होते हैं, क्या है इनका डिटेल्स, वो डिटेल्स है. हाँ. Yes, Vaibhav Prabhu. What about Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction? Why these books are included? When the phase is going of Isopanishad and then Bhagavad Gita, why this Nectar of Devotion and Nectar of Instruction has came?
It's like I think we can say that we know that God is person, not person. And then we know that that person is Krishna by Bhagavad Gita. And then how to
Huh?
reach that by Upanishad we know that God is person, God is a personal, not impersonal. And by Bhagavad Gita we know that that person is Krishna. Then how to cultivate relationship with that person, that we know by instruction and devotion.
Yeah, how to cultivate that devotion to Krishna is being spoken in the Nectar of Devotion and Nectar of Instruction. So that is how sadhana and the sadhya. Philosophy as well as the application of that philosophy is we see in the Nectar of Devotion and the Nectar of Instruction. Right? Nectar of Instruction, of course, 11 verses, right? which are also very important verses, right? Which are written by Srila Rupa Goswami, right? And Rupa Goswami got all these teachings from
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, in the place. Yes, in the place. दशाश्वमेध घाट इन प्रयागराज. दशाश्वमेध घाट अपने घर के पास नहीं, प्रयागराज. दशाश्वमेध घाट. This is the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave teachings to Rupa Goswami for 2 months, right?
10 days.
10 days. ये 25-26 बैच वालों को भक्ति शास्त्री फिर से होने वाला है. तो लोग क्योंकि ये एंड फेज में आ रहा है ना, तो एंड फेज में हाथ लगाएंगे तो भक्ति शास्त्री कोर्स सर्टिफिकेट नहीं दिया जाएगा. ठीक है, सुन सकते हैं आप, सुनने में मना नहीं है आपको, जस्ट इंडिकेशन बता रहे. बाकी लोग सोचेंगे कि ठीक है ब्रो जी, ये सब बीच में ज्वाइन करके. सो दैट इज हाउ द नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन स्पीक्स अबाउट very important book, especially for the Vaishnavas, right? Because Rupa Goswami has written the details of when we how to practice this devotional service. It's a very extensive book in that way. That's why Prabhupada wrote the summary study. Just a summary wise Prabhupada has written. And now today we are starting with, of course, the preface part is there. Preface is also very important. Preface is written by Srila Prabhupada. What is saying about in this book what is being spoken. Srila Prabhupada writes a preface of his book explaining that Rupa Goswami got these teachings in Prayagraj. For 10 days, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him, and that came in the form of this book as Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. Okay, what's the meaning of this Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu? Upadeshamrit, nectar of
Instructions.
Upadeshamrit. Then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is what?
Nectar of mellows or devotion.
Nectar of Bhakti Rasa Amritam, that is. Right. And that is what Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's an ocean. Of course, Danvir Maharaj, I think he wrote this book, Waves of Devotion. It's waves. In that Samudra, there are waves. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote commentary on this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. The Bhakti Rasa, which is Amrita, is a Sindhu, it's like an ocean. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave the commentary and said that I am writing this commentary which is like a bindu for that, which what Rupa Goswami has written. Of course, Jiva Goswami also wrote commentary. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also has a commentary on this book, which is written by Srila Rupa Goswami. So, Srila Prabhupada, in the initial preface of it, I think much part of it, all of you can read it in the leisure time. He speaks about what is this Bhakti Rasa and the Mundane Rasa. The difference of the Bhakti Rasa and Mundane Rasa. Okay, quickly, yes. What's the difference of Bhakti Rasa and Mundane Rasa? Rasa means? Yes, Rasa means?
Taste.
Mellows, taste, yes. Taste. Bhakti Rasa. What's the difference between Bhakti Rasa and Mundane Rasa?
Mundane rasa is temporary.
Is temporary, yes. And
Flickering.
taste is different. Yes, Prabhu, taste is already different. It's not just different, it's like very much different. What else?
Bhakti Rasa satisfies the soul and heart, and Mundane Rasa satisfies the senses and the mind.
Yeah. Bhakti Rasa, it's only just a satisfaction on the external, and it is not lasting also for a longer period of the time. Right? Once that gets over, another one people wants it. Right? So, but the Bhakti Rasa is it is fully satisfying. And what is one more quality of the Bhakti Rasa and Mundane Rasa?
Bhakti Rasa is ever increasing.
Yes, ever increasing. Very wonderful. One shloka from the Chaitanya Charitamrita where Bhakti Rasa is ever expanding. Quickly, Bhakti Rasa is ever expanding. रोज पढ़ते आप लोग?
Anandam Buddhivardhanam.
Yes, Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadaam Purna Amrita Swadanam. Purna Amrita Swadanam. It's ever expanding, this ocean is. Mundane Rasa is limited. But after some time, that becomes the same. That relationships in this world, relationship between girl and boy, which is mostly seen as most enjoying and the highest thing in this world, that is all limited. For a certain amount of time, that satisfaction is being get by the senses, right? Boy's senses and the girl's senses, right? For some time. After that goes away. But Bhakti Rasa is, as we more dive deep into it, the more it expands. It's like a bottomless ocean. Of course, the Bhakti Rasa is compared to the ocean of this world, but that also is not a complete explanation, because this ocean also has some limitation after some time. But Bhakti Rasa is unlimited. Krishna can expand. The more the devotee wants to relish, Krishna can expand. That relationship can expanding, ever expanding, that is. So it's ever expanding, and that is the one which we going to satisfy the jiva. Because jiva want unlimited package, unlimited data, unlimited enjoyment, unlimited prasadam. Right? सबके चेहरा में हंसी आ रहा है कि अनलिमिटेड अनलिमिटेड सुनते अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि दैट इज व्हाट द नेचर ऑफ द जीवा इज. अनलिमिटेड ही वांट्स. But the problem is, in a wrong place, we are searching for that unlimited thing. Material world, everything is limited. Yeah. So that is how, yeah, unlimited sweet, but we have limited senses. What to do? So that we can get it in the spiritual world when we go. That's why Krishna Prabhupada is stressing that in the further part of the book we are going to discuss about this bhakti rasa. So that's why his initial part of the preface is distinguishing and telling us that this is what in the book we are going to focus about bhakti rasa, because mundane rasa is not going to give the satisfaction, and every jiva is looking for that bhakti rasa in this world. So that is how the preface part gets over. So you can read it. ओके, एक दो क्वेश्चन आ सकता है उससे भी, तो थोड़ा सा पढ़ लीजिएगा उसका. एंड now next, going to the part of introduction, the nectar of devotion, that introduction part itself. Of course, this introduction is not Srila Prabhupada given introduction. This is given by Srila Rupa Goswami directly. Right? Rupa Goswami wrote the direct introduction to this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That Srila Prabhupada summarized it in his introduction also, the same introduction you see. So Rupa Goswami's introduction to this book starts with any book introduction, starting writing, how it should start. When you write a letter to a devotee, how do you write?
With greetings.
Invocation.
Wish.
Invocation.
Huh?
Dandavat Pranam.
Wishes.
Dandavat
Mangalacharan.
Pranam. Yeah. Now people write it Mangalacharan, auspiciousness, invoking, or some nikla, right? Yeah. The Mangalacharan which he writes, right? Invoking uh, the auspiciousness, right? Because we are going to write the book, so let's hope that this book is going to be helpful for the society, right? And protected from the people, right? Like that. So to do that, Rupa Goswami invokes auspiciousness by taking shelter from the Lord, from the spiritual master, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and asking for the prayers. And then in this introduction, the next part of the verse which goes, right? These are all the verses form. I'll just show you the glimpse of that book, right? In a soft copy form. In the further part of it, he says about the division of the book, how the book is being divided, and how in the four bhagas he divides: east, west, north, south, like that. And each bhaga, right, that as the laharis or the waves, it is called as sections. Different sections are there. Of course, we are in this nectar of devotion. We are going to see only the first part, or the Purva Bhaga, eastern part. We are going to see it, and as you advance after some years, you can start reading the other Vibhagas also. Some more details of that in the spiritual world, qualities of Krishna, how the Krishna reciprocates with the devotees in the spiritual world. That all details are there. It's very important. I'm not saying that we should not read it. Right? We should. Many times we have. Definitely, I also read some part of it. I've not read it fully, but we have to read the nectar of devotion as we go years. Right? Some part of the years we can read the other parts of the book. Right? Initially, for us now for the Bhakti Shastri course, we are focusing only on the Purva Vibhaga. And the next part of Rupa Goswami gives the definition of what is this bhakti all about, which we are going to discuss about it, right, in the further part of the book. So first, let's understand the definition of the bhakti. That's what Rupa Goswami writes here. The definition of the bhakti goes, then we will enter into the next part of it. Right? Then it enters into the chapters. So the whole chapters, there are altogether in the first bhaga, eastern part, we have 19 chapters. 19 chapters are there in this first bhaga. And then the further bhagas are there. Okay, let's first get into this Mangalacharan, the introduction part of it. Here, the Rupa Goswami gives the introduction. Okay, let's have some Sharing of the screen. Okay, Prabhus. Let's see the shlokas here. So Rupa Goswami's book, just like Chaitanya Charitamrita has 112, 113 like that, this book also is been written in that way. The shlokas, I'll just show you the shlokas here. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna. I hope you are able to see it, Prabhu. आगे होगा देखो, ठीक से देखो.
No.
आया ना? ऑन शेयर इसकी क्या वाला कोई और स्क्रीन शेयरिंग का वो ऑप्शन दे दिया ना अगर तो परमिशन है ना इसमें.
Yes, Prabhu.
क्या हो गया? And again, so this is how the book starts with. According this translation, this has been translated by His Holiness Banu Swami Maharaj. Yeah. So, okay, I'll show you the. This is the first wave concerning overview of bhakti in the eastern section of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Yeah, I'm going ahead. Eastern section. This is how the four bhagas. This is forward. Yeah, this is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. With Durgama Sangama Tika, the commentary called Resolving the Difficult of the Sri Jiva Goswami, and Bhakti Sara Pradarshini Tika, the commentary called Revealing the Essence of Bhakta of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, volume 1. This is eastern and the southern sections. This volume consists of. Okay. Yeah. The table of contents. The first wave Samanya Bhakti, second wave Sadhana Bhakti, third wave Bhava Bhakti, and the fourth is the Prema Bhakti. This is in the eastern section only. Of course, this we are going to see it a little more detail after that. Southern section also has 5 waves in that. Okay. Vibhava, Anubhava, Satvika Bhava, Vyavichari Bhava, and Sthai Bhava. So the eastern section of this which you are seeing here, it's visible, na?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, bro. So this is how it's going to go. Outline of this book. Outline of Samanya Bhakti is the introduction part, and the first chapter is called as Samanya Bhakti. Matlab just general Bhakti it is. And then it goes to the Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Vaidhi Bhakti. And then goes to the Bhava Bhakti and the Prema Bhakti. Okay. So introduction part, Mangalacharan, Guru Vandana, Vaishnava Vandana, and Grantha Vibhaga. And definition of Uttam Bhakti. Right? Hopefully we are going to go till the second part, Uttam Bhakti definition will go. So this introduction and the Uttam Bhakti will discuss this, and then we'll next part 6 unique characteristics of Uttamadhikari. Kleshagni, Subhada, these all we have studied, right? Moksha Lagutagurut, Sandranda Visheshatma, then it goes to Sudurlabha, Sananta Visheshatma, intenseness, and then Sri Krishna Akarshani. The qualifications for understanding Bhakti, the further part of it, the course. So this is how the Samanya Bhakti part is being described. And then we'll next go to the second chapter of the Nectar of Devotion is the Sadhana Bhakti. It starts from second chapter to the 9 almost around uh, 15 chapters, I think, the sadhana bhakti goes. And then again 17, 18 chapters is Bhava Bhakti, and 19 chapter is the Prema Bhakti. That is how these 19 chapters of the Eastern Bhaga is being divided. Okay, this is the first verse where Rupa Goswami starts opening with Akila Rasamrita Murti, Prasannamura Ruchi Ruddha Tarakapati, Kalita Shamala Lalito, Radha Preyanan Vidur Jayati, Vidur Jayati. Yes, somebody can read the translation.
Krishna, the destroyer of all sin and the bestower of all bliss, the very form of the highest bliss, filled with all rasas, excels all others in glory. He brings Taraka and Palika under his control by the diffusion of his beauty. He accepts Syamala and Lalita as his equals and gives pleasure to Radha by his excellent qualities.
Yeah. So ऑफ कोर्स ठीक है, ये नहीं समझ में आया तो भी टेंशन नहीं है कि इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है कि जीव गोस रूप गोस्वामी इज टेकिंग ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ Lord Krishna, and before starting of the Grantha is invoking the auspiciousness by taking blessings from Krishna, the destroyer of all the sin and the bestower of all the bliss. So that is how he is taking the blessings of the Lord. This the first verse of the book, it starts with this. This all the Jiva Goswami's commentary is there on this further part of this book been discussed. Wherever it's required, we'll see it, and we go to the definition of the bhakti and all that. We'll see that. Yeah, see how the Jiva Goswami gives the details of it, what Rupa Goswami wants to speak about it. When you get further time, you can read it. Okay, Akila Rasamrita Murti means what? About the Lord's Tattva, what Lord Krishna is speaking about it here. Okay. We'll go to the next verse where he's taking blessings from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also before starting of this book. Yeah. Text 2 we are reading. Hridiyasya preranaya pravartito
प्रेरणाया प्रवृत्तो
Amvarasarupopi
अहं वारकारूपोऽपि
Tasya Hare Padakamalam
तस्य हरे कलमनं
Devasya.
वन्दे चैतन्यदेव
Read it. I offer. पढ़िए कोई तो पढ़िए.
I offer my respects to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord in the form of Chaitanya Deva. Though I am a wild person by nature, by his inspiration within my heart, I have undertaken this work.
So this is our Chaitanya Deva. By offer my respects to lotus feet of the Lord in the form of Chaitanya Deva. Though I am a wild person by nature, by his inspiration within my heart, I have undertaken this work. So this is how Rupa Goswami takes the blessings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also in this book. And if, of course, Prabhupada, if you read the introduction of Prabhupada, Prabhupada includes taking blessings from his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Rupa Goswami also. Right? Prabhupada writes in the introduction part, let me offer respectful obeisance unto lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada and of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, by whose inspiration I have been engaged in the matter of compiling this summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is a sublime science of devotional service as propagated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared 500 years ago in West Bengal to propagate the movement of Krishna consciousness. This is how Rupa Goswami also take. Srila Prabhupada taking blessings of his Gurudev and Rupa Goswami also to write this commentary. So this is how the mood of a preacher or when you're writing the book of an author, this is the proper mood to take blessings from the superiors. It's very important for us, right? As a Vaishnavas, it's all, again and again it's stressed, right? Blessings are very important. If you want to do anything in your life, we need blessings. Right? Especially in the when you want to do aspects of the bhakti, right? Anything we are doing, we have to seek blessings from the Vaishnavas. When the devotees side. By the blessings of the Vaishnavas, we remain. Okay, what is the importance of taking blessings? मैं बोलने से अच्छा आप लोग बोलिए. हाँ, बताइए. What is the importance of blessings? Why blessings are required?
For empowerment to do the service.
Empowerment to do the service. Our heart becomes open. Okay, we can access the mercy of Krishna. We can get empowerment. Yes. What else? Krishna becomes pleased. Yes, Krishna becomes pleased by the service. So Krishna could be pleased by service. What else?
Bro, we come to know whether we are going in the right direction or not.
Yeah, we are going in the right direction or not. It's very important, right? Because our direction is always different. So that's why we need to take. We go to the Vaishnavas, take blessings. We know that we are going right or not. Yes. What else?
Even the things will not go in our favor, then also like will attract them.
Yes, we remain protected, right? Which very important is we remain protected in the extensive work. When we are doing anything, right? Brahmaji also prays, Lord, kindly protect me from the false ego. Because the false ego also could come. Right? Oh, I'm writing such a great literature, everybody is respecting, everybody is reading. So could kind of pride could come. That's why by the blessings of Vaishnavas, we can remain intact. Right? Yes, by blessings of Vaishnavas, we can touch the people's heart. We can invoke Krishna consciousness in the lives of the people. That is how the purpose of the blessings is also. So that is why Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada also is taking blessings. This is the attitude of a preacher or attitude of a person want to preach or spread through the books, through the preaching, right? To take the blessings. Yeah. Then next, because Rupa Goswami offers his obeisances to Srila Sanatan Goswami. Of course, Sanatan is his elder brother, and Rupa Goswami is to consider him as his guru. And anything he wants to check, he is to check with Sanatan Goswami. Right? Anything is not able to understand. So that's why he is taking blessings from Srila Sanatan Goswami also. Okay, let's read that part. Vishrama mandiratya tasya sanatana. I also don't know how the meter of this slokas are there. Just I am also reading it. Tanor mad ishasya bhakti rasamrita sindur bhavato
भक्तिरसामृते सिन्धु भवतु
adayam pramodaya. Ah, read it.
May this work named the Ocean of Nectar composed of Bhakti Rasa always serve as the recreation hall of my Lord, manifested in the form called Sanatan Goswami for his pleasure.
Yeah. So this could be it will give pleasure to the Sanatan Goswami. Lord manifested in the form called Sanatan Goswami for his pleasure. So this is how the Rupa Goswami is taking blessings from Sanatan Goswami. By residing in that ocean of nectar, Sanatan Goswami always feel transcendental pleasure in the service of Radha and Krishna. Okay. Now he's taking obeisances to, he is offering obeisances to all the Vaishnavas before starting. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhau Charata
भक्तिरसामृत सिन्धु सरता
Haribhuta Kala Jalabiyaha
हरिभूता कालजलाधिया
Asilita
भक्ति मत्सराशिलिता
Nandikam Namasyami.
भक्ति नादिकान्नमस्यमि. I offer my respects to the devotees who are like Makaras, king among fishes, frolicking in the sweet ocean of devotional rasa, who disregard the insignificant rivers of liberation, and who are free from fear caused by the net of time.
Yeah. So devotees, right? Here, Rupa Goswami compares the devotees as to the fishes, right, who are frolicking in the sweet ocean of devotional rasa. Right? In the devotional rasa, the mellows in the service of the Lord, they are happily enjoying, right? And they disregard the insignificant rivers of liberation. So the bhakti is considered to be like the ocean here. Rupa Goswami is comparing the bhakti to the ocean. And all the rivers which are flowing towards that ocean are compared to the paths of liberation. So, and in that ocean, there are fishes. Who are that makaras? Devotees who are relishing in that devotees, right? So, and the devotees, the fishes are not interested in going into the small, small rivers. Because in small rivers, there is a danger of, yes, net. Right? Fisherman's net, they may get caught. So that's why they are not interested in that, the liberation, right? Because the diversion may get changed, and they're relishing in that. Right? And the liberation and all other paths are compared to small, small rivers which are entering the ocean. Yeah, either Rupa Goswami is, Jiva Goswami is writing here. Firstly, the devotees of Makaras joyfully swim in the unlimited bhakti rasa, which is compared to ocean of nectar, which is the final shelter of various types of rivers of liberation, and is full of highest bliss. Secondly, they ignore liberation, which is compared to a river, aslita mukti nadikam, the happiness of merging in Brahman. Even though that happiness cuts the bondage of birth and death, and even though that happiness flows eternally, just as a river provides relief and flows constantly without ever stopping. Sometimes the word anadruta is seen in the place of aslita in this verse. The devotees ignore liberation because they prefer to play in the ocean of bhakti rasa. So ऐसा brief description जीवा गोस्वामी देते हैं कि क्यों devotees are not interested in the rivers. Although rivers may provide happiness, some kind of happiness comes to the rivers also because the constant flow, and what is saying, rivers provide relief and constant flow without ever stopping. So similarly, liberation, right? Mukti is also giving some kind of pleasure from the cycle of birth and death. And that even though that happiness flows eternally, there is a eternal, that Brahman is also eternal, right? Merging into the Brahman, that is also eternal. And it is mukti, free from the cycle of birth and death. But still devotees are not interested. Why? Why devotees are not interested? Yes, because there is no rasa. Because devotees are not, because there is no service to the Lord. So devotees doesn't get any interest in this mukti. So that's why they reject that mukti. They are not interested because they are relishing in the ocean. That's why fishes doesn't go to the rivers because they are unlimited. They are happy playing in the ocean. They have no fear of any net, any fisherman coming because they flow in the ocean. They can flow deep in the waters, right, like that. So that is how Jiva Goswami gives the commentary of what is it. Thirdly, in the ocean of Bhakti Rasa, there is disregard, paribhutaha, the fear arising from time, which causes a succession of miseries through the bondage of birth and death, just as fish swimming in the deep ocean are free from the fear of fisherman's nets. But they disregard paribhuta, fear arising from time, which causes a succession of miseries through the bondage of birth and death. Okay, ठीक है. Yes, now Rupa Goswami in this verse, next verse, is praying from the Vaishnavas, devotees, that let this book be protected. The protection of the book is praying in this verse number 5. मीमांसका वादभग्ने कतीनां
तावादपगमे कतीनाम्
कुन्तयन् असौ जीवम्
अपि कुण्ठयम् असो जीवम्
पुरतौ सनातन सुचिरम्
स्फुरतो
कृतौ सनातन
सनातनसुचिरं
तव भक्ति रसामृतं बोधि.
तव
तव
भक्तिरसामृतां
भक्तिरसामृतं
बोधि
बोधि।
Yeah, read it too.
O Sanatan, may your ocean of bhakti rasa remain for a long time, restricting the harsh arguments of proponents of karma and jnana, just as the ocean restricts the flame of Vadaba fire. Vadaba fire.
वडबा फायर. ये वडबा फायर क्या होता है? This flame or the tongue is described as belonging to Vadaba fire. Vadabagnena Jivanam, to distinguish it from the well-known 7 flames of the fire, which are used to consume the sacrifices. ठीक है. Just as the ocean always remains present to restrict the flame of Vadaba fire, this work, the ocean of Bhakti Rasa, should always remain present to restrict the power of speaking of Mimanshakas. Mimanshaka means what to say, impersonalist and Mayavadis. This, it should be understood that his desire is not just restriction but extreme restriction, complete extinction of their criticisms. Right? Let this book be free from all this criticism of these people. Otherwise, the rasa of this book will go away. So that's why Rupa Goswami is extremely stressing that kindly be protect my book so that it will not be touched by these people. Okay. Now is attitude of the preacher. Okay, I hope all of you are understanding now what we are discussing. Yes, Prabhu? We are discussing the introduction part for this book of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and how the Rupa Goswami is taking blessings starting from Krishna, Chaitanya Deva, and then in between we have spoke about Prabhupada writing in his introduction of taking blessings from Rupa Goswami and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also. And then we've seen about taking blessings from spiritual master, Sanatan Goswami. Definitely, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only gave initiation, but he considered Sanatan Goswami as also as one of the Siksha Gurus. And then they came is taking blessings of Vaishnavas, right? So seeking so that the book could be protected from the other commentators and especially the Mayavadi commentators. The book could be protected so that this ocean of Bhakti Rasa should be ever increasing like that. Now, in the further part, which you are going to see, you speak about what should be the attitude of a preacher is, or a speaker, or a writer of the book. That's what Rupa Goswami is stressing in this. Then we'll go to the still more. This is the 6th verse, I think, right? Still more 4 verses are there. 11th verse is definition of bhakti, and the next 3 verses, I think, it goes with the division of the book. Okay, so let's see that. Is that okay? Any comments or questions till now devotees have? Okay. Bhakti rasasya prastutir akila jagan
भक्तिरसस्य प्रस्तुतेरखिल
mangala
जगन्
prasangasya
मङ्गलप्रसङ्गस्य
प्रसङ्गस्य
apnenapi mayasya kriyate
भाग्येनापि
अज्ञानाभिमयस्य
मयस्य क्रियते
suridam pramodaya.
सूरितं
सुहृदं
प्रमोदय
प्रमोदय
Yeah. Hey, रुको कुछ और पढ़ो और बोल ऑनलाइन में. ऑनलाइन में आपको थोड़ा सा ऑप्शन. हाँ.
Though I am ignorant, I have undertaken this work concerning Bhakti Rasa related to Krishna, who is auspicious for the whole world, for the joy of my friends.
Yeah, so this is the mood of the preacher, this is the mood of the Rupa Goswami, right? Though I am ignorant, Bhakti Rasasya Prastutir Akila Jagan Mangala Prasangasya. For the Jagan Mangala Prasangasya, Bhakti Rasa I am giving it. Agne Nanapi Mayasya. Maya Asya Kriyate Surudam Pramodaya. I am ignorant person, right? But I have taken this work for the pleasure of Lord Krishna and his devotees. To glorify Krishna's and Krishna's bhakti, which is betterment for the Jagan Mangala Prasangasya. So that this is going to protect the people. It is going to give auspiciousness in the lives of these people. So that's why I'm writing this book. Okay, now let's go to the Grantha Vibhag. Text number 7. Grantha Vibhagaha is writing. Etasya Bhagavad Bhakti Rasamrita Payonide Chatvara Kalau Vakshante
Chatvara khalo vaksante
Bhagaha Purvadaya Kramat.
bhaga purvadaya
Yeah, somebody read it. Yes, so read it.
The
In the
divisions of
sweet
the book.
ocean of Bhakti Rasa offered to the Lord, four sections starting with the eastern sections will be expounded one after the other.
So four in the sweet ocean of Bhakti Rasa offered to the Lord, four sections starting with the eastern section, responded one after another. So eastern section is the first one which you're going to see, and then one after another is going to come. Okay. Tatra Purva Vibhagesmin Bhakti Veda
Bhaktivedanta
Tavyam
Bhaktavya
Laharyam.
Laharinam Chatushtam.
Padiye.
Western divisions define the different type of bhakti. This will be discussed in four successive waves chapters.
Four successive waves, laharis it is called as. Laharinam Chatustayam. Four laharis, this eastern section is being divided. That's what you have seen. Four laharis is what? Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and then Prema Bhakti. These are the four divisions, right? And then the Sadhana Bhakti, both will come. Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti also. And then there is Bhava Bhakti and then it's Prema Bhakti. So the Eastern division defines the different types of bhakti. This will be discussed in the four successive waves, chapters. Yeah, okay. Adya Samanya Bhakti Adya.
Adya samanya bhaktya
Dvitiya Sadhananvitaha.
dvitiya sadhananvita
Avashrita Tritiya Cha.
avashrita tritiya
Surya
cha
Prema Nirupika.
surya premani.
One sloka of Bhakti Sindhu, we are able to understand something. Right. Adya, the first way of the eastern division of the ocean is concerned with the bhakti in general, Samanya Bhakti. Adya, starting, Samanya Bhakti Adyaha. Right. Starting is introduction and the first chapter is Samanya Bhakti. The second wave describes the Sadhana Bhakti, which is the second chapter to the 19th, 16th, 15th chapter. Right. The third wave describes the Bhava Bhakti, that is 16th and 17th chapter. 16, 17, 18. And till 16th chapter it is Sadhana Bhakti. From 2nd chapter to 16th chapter. And then 17th, 18th chapter is Bhava Bhakti. 19th chapter is the Prema Bhakti. Okay, text number 10. Tatrado sustu Vaisistyam Asya Kathayitam Sputam
Asya kathayitam sputam
Lakshanam Kriyate Bhaktir
lakshanam kriyate bhaktir
Uttama Satam Matam.
tamaya satam matam.
Yeah. Somebody read it too. Yes.
In the
Somebody
first
online.
wave, in the first wave or chapter, in order to describe clearly the superiority of bhakti to other processes, the unique characteristics of Uttama bhakti will be related, as approved by the acharyas.
So in the first part of it, that's what Rupa Goswami is saying that first chapter start. First chapter means introduction only. Introduction is also considered to be the first part of it, and the first chapter, right? In the first wave, that's why he says, in order to describe clearly the superiority of bhakti to other processes. In this part only, introduction only, we are going to now. Next part, we are going to discuss. Next verse is definition of bhakti that he gives. The unique characteristic of Uttam Bhakti will be related as approved by the Acharyas. What is Uttam Bhakti and what is not called as Uttam Bhakti? That's what Rupa Goswami writes in the next verse. Right? Okay. So some part of it we read. Jiva Goswami's commentary, some part we are reading. In the first wave of the Eastern Division, Tatra, this first of all other, the characteristics of Uttam Bhakti or pure Bhakti will be dealt with. The whole of the Bhakti will not be discussed. The reason is given. This is in order to describe clearly the supreme position of Bhakti. When Bhakti is not pure and is covered by the other desires in the form of Jnana and Karma, its strength is not full. है ना? भक्ति का पूरा इफेक्ट हमारे जीवन में नहीं देख पाएंगे जब ज्ञान और कर्म उसमें जुड़ा हुआ है तो. With such impure types of bhakti, the characteristics appear only partially or mixed bhakti, karma mishra bhakti, jnana mishra bhakti. This is understood from the following verse. Thus mixed bhakti cannot be used to show the supreme nature of bhakti. Then he writes the sloka of this, Yasyasya bhakti bhagavati akinchana. Yeah. So, okay, now let's go to the definition of the bhakti. Okay, till now we have discussed about the prayers, invoking and protection of the book and the Grantha Vibhag, right? How the book is being divided. Now let's go to the what is bhakti definition, which is given by the Rupa Goswami. This is how, this is a very easy, very important verse, which many of you know this verse already. This is 11th verse in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anyabhilashita sunyam Jnanakarmati anavritam
Jnanakarmadi anavritam
Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam
Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam
Bhaktir Uttama
Bhaktiruttama
Anyavilashita sunyam
Anyabhilashita Sunyam
Jnanakarmadi anavritam
Jnanakarmadi anavritam
Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam
Anukulena Krishna Anusilanam
Bhaktir Uttama. Yes. Read it. हाँ पढ़िए प्रभु, कोई पढ़िए इसको.
The highest bhakti is defined as continuous service or emotions directed towards Krishna, his expansion forms or others related to him with a pleasing attitude towards Krishna. It should be devoid of desires other than the desire to please the Lord and unobstructed by impersonal jnana, the materialistic rituals of karma and other unfavorable acts.
Yes. So this is how, this of course, many of you know it. Many of you have given commentary also, I think. Many of you have spoken also, I think, on this verse. So I think I not have to go into the details of it. Okay, but before that we will. Yes. So Prabhupada is writing here in this. The authorized description of bhakti or devotional service following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas can be summarized in the following statement by Srila Rupa Goswami. First class devotional service is known by one's tendency to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord favorably. So about favorably, Prabhupada speaks about it. What is a favorable devotional service means what? Okay. So now this definition, all of us we know about it. Anya abhilashita sunyam, jnana karmadi anavrutam, anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhakti ruttama. Okay. So in this there are the primary qualities needed and the secondary qualities, right? Called as Swarupa Lakshana and then the Tatastha Lakshana. Yeah. In the further part, Jiva Goswami writes and then Acharyas write about it. What are the main Lakshana and what is the required, right, which makes that bhakti pure. So what is the initial qualities which are required of the bhakti? Here in this definition, Rupa Goswami is writing about bhakti means not this, but this. Bhakti ka definition he gave. That's called as Uttama Bhakti. So what is the initial requirement of this devotional service. Yes, what are the, it's called as Swarupa Lakshan, basic qualities. What could be the basic qualities from this verse if you see? What could be the basic qualities required? Anukulyena. Anukulyena is what? Favorable devotional service. Okay, favorable, yes. And what else?
And
Yes, Prabhu?
so devoid of desires.
Huh?
Beware of other desires
Anushilanam is what?
apart from
Other desires.
Anushilanam? Huh? Yeah. Activity following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Right? So the initial part of it, the initial qualities are Swarupa Lakshana, which is called. Right? Here it is said that Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Right? These are the initial qualities which are required. Basic qualities which are required. It should be favorable and it should be in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. And then when we want to make that bhakti more and more pure, then we go to the Tatastha Lakshana. How the bhakti could make it pure is by Anyabhilashita, Sunyam and Gana Karmadi Anavrita. And the first two lines are said to be the Tatastha, which make the bhakti pure. And what is bhakti? Is Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Following in the footsteps of this bhakti. That is how this bhakti is pure devotional service. Definition is this. The commentaries are very interesting, and I was reading it. Very interesting. Jiva Goswami has written these commentaries. And, of course, every word which is used in these commentaries, right? Rupa Goswami, which is used here, and Jiva Goswami when he analyzes it, and even Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur when he analyzes it, right? So it's very interesting to read. Some part of it we will read it now, because how these words, every word used as a meaning here, Jiva Goswami writes. If you can exclude any word of it, right? Krishna Anushilanam, it's already there, and Bhakti is already there. So Yoga Goswami gives one of the argument that why then Anukulyana is required. We can have excluded that word Anukulyana, or otherwise we could have removed Anushilanam also. But anyhow, it's a following, right? Following Bhakti is itself is a service, right? And Anushilanam, Yoga Goswami translate it as the service, and Anu as a continuous service. So bhakti means already devotional service. Then again, why Anushilanam is used, and then why Anukulya is used. So that's how the both Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and then Jiva Goswami gives very wonderful understanding here. This verse, we'll read some part of it in the down to have just an understanding, not to confuse all of you, but धातु वर्बल रूट ये सब संस्कृत हम लोगों को पता नहीं है, तो थोड़ा सा हम बीच बीच में पढ़ेंगे. कुछ समझ में नहीं आए तो छोड़ दीजिएगा. Thus Anushilanam or continuous service. Here Jiva Goswami's commentary of Anushilanam is continuous service. Shilanam is the service and Anushilanam is the continuous service. As an active form, using the words, body, words or the mind, and an emotional form, Bhava Rupa, consisting of affection and despair of the mind. ठीक है, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं जाएंगे इसमें. Yeah, Krishna Anushilanam. With this consideration, Anushilanam means service for the persons related to Krishna or service for the Krishna directly. Understood? Anushilanam means service for the persons related to Krishna or service to the Krishna directly. मतलब भक्तों का service नहीं तो कृष्ण का सेवा, ये दोनों. That is the meaning of Krishna Anushilanam. Because this definition also includes persons related to Krishna as well as Krishna himself, it avoids the fault of being too narrow. It includes all. Okay, this goes. This service or Anushilanam obtainable only by the mercy of Krishna and his devotees is a transformation of the Lord's Swarupa Shakti, and thus it is not material but spiritual. Okay, understood. Okay, little more. Anukulyena. Now the word Anukulyena, why it is used, Jiva Goswami comments here. The word Anukulyena, with favorableness or friendliness, is the descriptive element of the Anushilanam or the service. समझ में आ रहा है? मतलब अनुकूल्यना is used to describe more about अनुशीलनम, service. सर्विस है, बट सर्विस कैसे होना चाहिए? अनुकूल होना चाहिए. तो सर्विस अनुकूल वर्ड क्यों यूज किया? It is necessary in order to limit the definition of bhakti. The definition of bhakti cannot be established with a disagreeable attitude towards Krishna. ये समझ में आ रहा है आपको? अनुकूल किस लिए यूज किया? Let's suppose service to Krishna. Let's suppose that we'll take it. Now down the line, if you go, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that. I'll show you a little later part. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says what? Says that service to Krishna, if you accept, even Kamsa was also doing service to Krishna. Right or not? Kamsa was doing service to Krishna. Now the other part, if you see, Yashoda, when Krishna was crying, and when the milk on the stove was flowing out, she left Krishna's service and went for removing the milk. So now apparently we see Yashoda Mai left the service of Krishna to go and take out the milk. Now if you say that, Prabhu, that is also service to Krishna only, now afterwards he will make nice makkan for the Lord, he will eat also. But an apparent sense, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that, it's not my words, completely, absolutely not my, I'll show you that commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says that if you see in that context, now Yashoda is not doing service to Krishna, Kamsa is doing service to Krishna. If you just add the words, if you just don't include Anukulya word. Why Rupa Goswami used the word Anukulyana? Because he wanted to distinguish that the Anushilanam service should be Anukulyana. That's why this word is used, Anukulyana, favorable devotional service. That Kamsa's was also service. Right? And apparently Yashoda Mai's was not service. Right? But if you see, the intention of Yashoda Mai was to serve Krishna. The intention of Kamsa was not to serve Krishna. In the other way. That's why he used the word Anukulyana. Right? Not just the service is required, but intention also is important. Then it becomes a bhakti. Understood, Prabhus? The bhakti, service in itself is not sufficient, but intention to please Krishna is also important. That's why favorable devotional service, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam, then that is Uttama Bhakti. Is it clear? Okay, I'll show you the commentary now. Let's see the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writing. Some part of Jiva Goswami will see it. If you want, I can share these 2-3 papers. You can see it in a leisure time also. The word Anukulyena is in conjunction with Krishna Anushilanam. Behavior pleasing for Krishna. Pratikulyaha means the opposite. Behavior disagreeable for Krishna. See, here it indicates that favorableness is a necessary qualifier for defining Anushilanam, not as a secondary element that can be assumed to exist in Anushilanam, which needed to be mentioned separately. ये mention करना important है. Don't misunderstand that. Rupa Goswami, why is mentioning Anukulyana? Understood. Following the footsteps or serving service to Krishna, understood that it's favorable only. No, Rupa Goswami want to clarify that no, Anukulyana is important word because favorable. Because service to Krishna comes also did service, but that is not favorable. That is not bhakti, right? Like that. So, of course, here Jiva Goswami gives an example. Right? To understand it, but I did not understood this example. You all can understand it. I will just read it, you see it. I am also trying to understand this example. When someone says, prepare the weapon bearers, warriors for the battle. He means as well that warriors should also bring the weapons. ये समझ में आ रहा? युद्ध लड़ने के लिए जा रहे हैं और आदेश दिया गया कि चलो सेना को लेके आओ, तो इसका मतलब क्या है? सेना जो है अस्त्र शस्त्र सब लेके आए, हाँ, खाली हाथ नहीं आना चाहिए, है ना? Similarly, the word Anushilanam, service to Krishna, is sufficient to define bhakti. Since Anukulya is implied by the word Anushilanam, it is not necessary to mention it separately. Bhakti means actions directed to Krishna is a sufficient definition. The response is as follows. Somebody can conclude that अरे अनुकूल्य क्यों यूज किया? Understood है. अरे सोल्जर्स कम फॉर द बैटल, मतलब वेपन्स लेके आना. अरे सर नहीं बोले सर, आप वेपन्स भी लेके आना क्या? तो कोई आर्ग्यू कर सकता है कि अनुशीलनम मतलब सफिशिएंट है कि कृष्ण का सर्विस ही है ना? इसको अलग से क्यों अनुकूल या क्यों यूज किए? तो जीव गोस्वामी इधर बता रहे कि क्यों, क्योंकि मिसअंडरस्टूड भी कर सकते हैं कभी कभी. कैसे? वही एग्जांपल रूप गोस्वामी जीव गोस्वामी अलग तरह से देते हैं. The response is as follows. When someone says, feed the weapon bearers, he doesn't mean that weapons should also be brought to the dinner table. हमें सेना को खिलाओ, अभी सेना आ रहा है खाने के लिए, तो साथ में अस्त्र लेके आने की जरूरत नहीं है. क्यों? खाने के लिए जा रहे हैं, तो वहां पर जरूरत क्या है वेपन्स का? तो इसको मैं भी समझने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. मैं भी, मेरे को पूरा समझ में नहीं आया. ठीक है, हम पढ़ते तो कुछ समझ में आ जाएगा. Thus, in all cases, the mention of the weapon bearers doesn't imply that they bring their weapons. Oh, जो गोस्वामी saying that weapon bearers मतलब सब समय ये जरूरत नहीं कि वेपन सब लेके घूमते रहो. बाथरूम में भी लेके चल जाएगा, खाने के लिए भी लेके आएगा, जरूरत नहीं है. जहां जरूरत है वहां पर ही लेके जाओ. तो इसी प्रकार से सिमिलरली द वर्ड अनुशीलनम इफ यूज्ड अलोन may not in all cases include favorableness. Actions directed to Krishna with concentration are not always favorable. Example is Kamsa, that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives in the further. Thus, the word Anukulyena is not necessarily added to this particular definition of bhakti. इसमें आ रहा कि हमारे आचार्यस का एक एक वर्डिंग, एक एक स्टेटमेंट, एक श्लोका में एक एक वर्ड जो यूज किए कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है. हम लोग बोलते हैं कि नहीं नहीं हमारे आचार्यस से भी हमको बहुत पता है. कभी कभी लोग बोलते हैं ना हमारे आचार्यस नहीं दिए रागान को भक्ति, ये भक्ति वो भक्ति, उनका एक एक श्लोका में इतना मीनिंग है, हमको कुछ पता भी नहीं चलता है कि क्यों यूज किए. हम तो रट लिए डेफिनेशन ऑफ भक्ति. बोलो अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम ज्ञान कर्मादनावृतम अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानुशीलन. अरे ये वर्ड क्यों यूज किए होता है? इसके लिए जीव गोस्वामी इसका कमेंट्री दे रहे हैं कि इसके लिए इस अनुकूल्य वर्ड को यूज करना इंपॉर्टेंट है. फेवरेबल डिवोशनल सर्विस मेंशन करना इंपॉर्टेंट है. मतलब सी हाउ आचार्यस वेर कमेंट आर सो मच डीप इनटू दैट, so that no philosopher ज्ञानी also cannot make any alterations. खास करके हमारे जैसा, खास किया हमारे एटियंस तो कुछ नहीं है उनके सामने, फिर भी एक एक्सेप्ट करते तो थोड़ा सा बुद्धिमान लोग ऐसे समझते तो भी कुछ लोग कुछ स्टेटमेंट्स निकालते हैं ना. प्रभुपाद ऐसा बोले है ना, प्रभुपाद सेड बोल के उसको अलग तिरक सब तरह का यूज कर लेते लोग अपने हिसाब से. तो इसीलिए जीव गोस्वामी को और रूप गोस्वामी को पहले से पता है आगे आने वाले जनता जो है सब तरह का कलयुग का वासी लोग है, कुछ भी कहीं भी यूज कर लेते हैं. तो इसलिए उन्होंने क्लियरली इस डेफिनेशन को इस प्रकार से लिख रहे. थोड़ा सा विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर का कमेंट्री में हम लोग जा रहे हैं आगे, देखिए उसमें इसका एग्जांपल कर बता रहे. There may be another objection. We could just say perform favorable bhakti without even mentioning अनुशीलनम. Okay, अनुशीलनम वर्ड को निकाल देते हैं. अभी जीव गोस्वामी कमेंट्री को उल्टा तरह बोल रहे हैं कि अनुशीलनम हटा देते हैं, बोले कि अनुकूल्येन बोल दो बस. अनुकूल्येन भक्ति, अनुकूल्येन कृष्ण भक्ति उत्तमा. अनुशीलनम हटा देते हैं. Okay, here saying, for the word bhakti alone implies service. For instance, when we say king goes out traveling, we also implied that he also goes with his retinue. Retinue मतलब सब सेना के साथ जाए. किंग बाहर निकल रहा मतलब बोलने की जरूरत नहीं ना कि सेना भी गया उनके साथ. Sena automatically unke साथ. Similarly, when we mention bhakti, it includes service and other items as well. That is true. Jiva Goswami said that is true. However, by omitting the words Anushilanam, there will be no clear indication of the different shades of the meaning inherent in the root of the shil, and consequently no indication of the different modes of bhakti. The word Anushilanam is specifically supplied in the definition in order to comprehend the full sense of the root. ये मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया, अगर आप लोगों को समझ में आया तो इसे समझ लेना, ठीक है. फर्दर मोर, इसके ऊपर और थोड़ा सा समझना पड़ेगा, टाइम नहीं मिला था इसको पूरा पढ़ने के लिए. फर्दर मोर, in order to define bhakti completely, the prefix anu is used to shilanam to indicate that the service should be continuous. Anu matlab continuous, shilanam matlab service. Okay. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam, continuous service or emotions directed towards Krishna. His expansion forms or other related string is pleasing attitude. Okay. Now let's go to the विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर कमेंट्री. फिर बाद में हम लोग आएंगे अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यम में. ओके, विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर कमेंट्री इधर देख रहे हैं ना आप लोग, ये हम लोग पढ़ते. वेर डिफरेंट commentary were different. Some difference is there in this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes here in this, the definition of Anukulya as pleasing for Krishna is both too extensive and too limiting. For instance, the action Anushilanam of a demon attacking Krishna is the rasa of fighting. And one example is Kamsa. Yuddha Virya Rasa, derived from the Utsaha Rati from Krishna's perspective. It is pleasing for him. कंसा जो युद्ध में भेजे थे वो तो कृष्ण को प्लीजिंग कर रहा है. इट इज प्लीजिंग टू कृष्ण, बट दैट इज नॉट फेवरेबल डिवोशनल सर्विस, इट्स नॉट फेवरेबल. सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस वर्ड अनुशीलनम शुड ऑलवेज accompany with the anukulya. It cannot be just used as anushilana, service to Krishna or pleasing to Krishna. But Kamsa sending demons was also pleasing to Krishna. Right? But the intention was wrong. So that is not included in the bhakti. So all actions which we are doing may not be pleasing to Krishna. All actions which we are doing may be pleasing to Krishna, but that is not favorable to bhakti. कुछ समझ में आ रहा प्रभु जी? Yes. Pleasing to Krishna but not favorable to bhakti. बताइए कुछ स्कॉलर लोग क्या कैसे समझे इसको? प्लीजिंग टू कृष्णा बट नॉट फेवरेबल टू डिवोशनल सर्विस. इधर तो एग्जांपल दिखे कंसा का, प्लीजिंग टू कृष्णा. कृष्ण को तो वीर्य रस करना था, लड़ाई करना था, उनको तो अच्छा लग रहा था, और भेजो. बट ये कंसा के लिए अच्छा नहीं है. क्यों? चेतना खराब हो रहा है. उनका इंटेंशन जो है कृष्ण को मारना है, वो भक्ति से दूर हो रहे हैं. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing here. So derived from Utsava Rati from Krishna's perspective, it is pleasing for him since he takes pleasure in fighting with them. Yuddha Virya Rasa. This is what is. Okay. Again, an illustration of the definition being too limited is given. When Yashoda left Krishna and went to take the milk of the fire, Krishna was not pleased. Thus, Yashoda would be excluded from the definition of bhakti. Kamsa include हो गया और यशोदा exclude हो गया, बाहर हो गया. अगर अनुकूल ये ना यूज नहीं करेंगे तो फिर आप यशोदा महारानी को बाहर हो जाएगा और कंस अंदर आ जाएगा. So that's why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, in order to prevent the definition from being too extensive or too limiting, the second case is Yashoda Maharani ka case. Too extensive matlab Kamsa ka case. The definition of anukulya should be explained as devoid of hostility on the part of the performer. Devoid of hostility matlab enviousness. Yes, devoid of hostility matlab free from the envy on the part of the performer. Yes, that is called as devotional service. That's why this word anukulya has been used. This will exclude the demons because they have hostility, enviousness to the Lord. Yes, so intentions are not good. In the form of hatred for Krishna. This definition will also not exclude Yashoda because she is devoid of hostility to Krishna. She doesn't have any. Therefore, let bhakti be defined in terms of anukulya, a friendly attitude directed to Krishna. The word anushilanam, which is modified by anukulya, is thus unnecessary because bhakti can be defined merely as favorable attitude to Krishna. Yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti commentary. This objection is rejected since even a pot is devoid of hostility to Krishna and is therefore pleasing to him, but cannot be described as having bhakti. Therefore, the word Anushilanam is also necessary. ठीक है, दोनों आचार्यों का कमेंट्री कंक्लूजन क्या है? प्रभु ये समझ में आ गया? कुछ लोग दिख भी नहीं रहे, चले गए क्या? लग रहा है कि प्रभु जी क्या पढ़ा रहे समझ में नहीं रहे, छोड़ दो. Okay, Prabhu, was it understandable?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Or, हाँ.
Most part was understandable, Prabhu, but in between something I was not able to get.
Yes, Prabhu. So, of course, we will not able to understand all because it's a Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary like this. हम लोगों को समझ में आना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, बट फिर भी इट्स जस्ट एन इजी अंडरस्टैंडिंग. उतना डिटेल में मत जाइए क्योंकि हमको एक समझाने के लिए और एग्जाम्पल कैसे आचार्य यूज कर रहे हैं, कैसे वर्डिंग्स है उनका, वो समझाने के लिए हम दिखाए इसको. बट सिंपल मीनिंग में अनुशीलनम, फॉलोइंग द फुट स्टेप्स ऑफ डिवोटीज, सर्विस एंड द अनुकूल्य फेवरेबल डिवोशनल सर्विस, इसीलिए वर्ड्स को यूज किया गया है ना. और एक ही अनुशीलन यूज कर सकते थे ना, अनुकूल्य क्यों यूज करना चाहिए? अनुशीलन में तो इंक्लूडेड है, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं. तो इसमें अंतर आ रहा है कि कंस का सेवा इंक्लूड हो जा रहा है और यशोदा माई का सेवा एक्सक्लूड हो जा रहा है. और ऐसे मतलब एक एग्जांपल के लिए ऐसा आचार्य बता रहे हैं, बट ऐसा बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स. इफ यू गो अहेड देन देयर कुड बी सो मेनी डिस्ट्रैक्शंस, राइट? So it should be anukula, favorable devotional service. It's not just a service we are doing it, but it should be favorable devotional service, right? Like that. So this is the initial stage of that. The bhakti definition is okay. Any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhuji, means I couldn't understand why then anusilanam is used over a reason. Like if it is anukul, how like it is explained? Can you explain why anusilanam?
बता रहे हैं ना.
Like anukul, I understood it is important to mention anukul, but anusilanam then. If it is favorable, then automatically it is service also. But
favorable and also service also. Favorable devotional service, Anushilanam. This object is rejected since even a pot, Vishwanath Chakravarti commentary पढ़ रहे हैं, a pot is devoid of hostility to Krishna and is therefore pleasing to him, but cannot be described as having bhakti. अभी pot मतलब एक gada. Gada is also devoid of hostility to Krishna. It is also favorable. In the sense it doesn't have envy. वो वर्ड के एग्जाम्पल का वो उसका यूज किए तो जो विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर आगे बताए थे कि the favorableness, the definition. So we can consider that the non-living also could be devoid of hostility, enviousness. But we should understand that could not be counted in the bhakti. That is not an aspect of bhakti or it's a person. Right? It's a matter. So therefore the word अनुशीलनम is also necessary. Okay, इसके ऊपर हम थोड़ा सा और थोड़ा सा टाइम दीजिए और हम सोच के बताते हैं आपको नेक्स्ट क्लास तक, या और किस लिए क्या किया और थोड़ा सा रिसर्च करना पड़ेगा इसके ऊपर.
तो नेक्स्ट क्लास में एक बार फिर से इसको समराइज भी कर दीजिएगा, मीन्स अभी एक बार
हाँ.
पढ़ लेंगे हम.
नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम लोग वो दोनों का बात में भी जाएंगे, अन्य अभिलाषिता और ज्ञान कर्म आदि.
और ये वाला पीडीएफ तो मिल जाता तो थोड़ा हम भी पढ़ लेते हैं, तो वो छूट गया कुछ कुछ.
ये वाला पीडीएफ चाहिए आप लोग को. ये वाला पीडीएफ पढ़ लेंगे तो प्रभु जी हमारे ऊपर ये हो जाएंगे, बोलेंगे क्या क्या आप दे दिया, ये लोग क्या क्या पढ़ रहे प्रभुपाद बुक छोड़ के. हम जस्ट डिटेल क्लास का डिटेल्स के लिए आपको दिखा रहे हैं ये सब. क्या हो रहा है, ये भानु स्वामी महाराज का बुक है, इसमें से भाई हिज होलीनेस भानु स्वामी महाराज का बुक है ये. और एक बार कैसे तो हमको मिला था तो हम इसको थोड़ा सा और पढ़ रहे थे, इसको और थोड़ा अंडरस्टैंडिंग करने के लिए. ऑफकोर्स बेसिक डेफिनेशन भक्ति शास्त्र के लिए जितना जरूरत है उतना तो आपको मिल गया, और उसके आगे थोड़ा सा पढ़ना अच्छा है ऑलवेज. आचार्य इसका पढ़ के समझना और डिटेल्स में, ताकि आपको और इसको हम और थोड़ा सा पढ़ेंगे प्रभु, और फिर आपको और इसके ऊपर चर्चा करेंगे. नेक्स्ट 2 वर्ड्स व्हिच गोस इज अबाउट द और द टू मेक दैट भक्ति प्योर, अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम ज्ञान कर्मादि अनावृतम. इसका तो आपको पता ही है ऑलरेडी. अभिलाष मीन्स नो डिजायर्स, एंड अन्य अभिलाषिता मीन्स मोरा यही अभिलाष विलास मांगते थे. मोरा यही अभिलाष विलास कुंजे दियो वास. अन्य अभिलाषिता मीन्स ये सर बोल बताइए.
नो मोर अदर अभिलाषास.
वो तो समझ में आ गया, इता क्यों यूज किए. अन्य अभिलाष बोल के लिखना था, नो मोर अभिलाषास.
Like Draupadi mother called for help. Draupadi called for help, so it look like Avilasa other than serving Krishna, but it is included in bhakti.
Yeah. So Anya Vilashita means having spiritual desires, right? It's not said to be. It's not considered that bhakti is not devoid of the desires. Yes, bhakti is devoid of material desires. So that's why here it is not that sometimes the same example what Naveen Prabhu spoke, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the further verse he gives about somebody in a difficult situation calls out for Krishna, right? In accident, right? He calls out to take shelter of Krishna. So that is not considered that we should not have any desires. So I do not call Krishna also. No, if somebody calls out in danger, calling out Krishna, that is also included in the pure devotional service. And that is not considered to be not pure devotional service. No, that is also pure devotional service, which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the further of it. In our next class, we will discuss more about that Anya Abhilashita and Jnana Karmadi. All of you know about it. Yes? Free from the Jnana and Karma. Adi means बाकी सब एस्ट्रोलॉजी और क्या ज्योतिष
आयुर्वेद
हॉरोस्कोप्स पतंजलि योगा वो सब ज्ञान कर्म आदि अनावृत आदि सब कुछ जोड़ दिया जोड़ के हटा दीजिए सबसे फ्री
परमात्मा ऑफरिंग ये सब भी प्रो है.
हाँ परमात्मा ऑफरिंग वो सब तो परमात्मा ऑफरिंग हमारे लिए नहीं है. ज्ञान कर्म आदि अनावृतम free from all this jnana and karma. Definitely all of you know about it. Jnana karma is which is not favorable to bhakti. That jnana and karma is removed out. Whatever is favorable to bhakti, jnana, we also trying to now read the books, trying to read the scripture. That is also jnana, assimilating jnana. But that is favorable to devotional. That is accepted. Not just to make it jnana khandaha, not just to make the head heavy head, not that. Okay, it's already understood. I think some part of it we'll discuss it, and then we'll go to the. I'll hand over it to Raj Gopinath Prabhu. Yes, the next chapter. The characteristics of pure devotional service. ये बहुत डिफिकल्टी है इसको कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स बताना. क्लेशाग्नि, सुबदा, और क्या, मोक्ष लघुताकृत, संद्रांत विशेषात्मा, सुदुर्लभा, विकृष्णाकर्षिणी. These are the characteristics. Okay. So next part of it, some part of it I take, and I think Gopinath Prabhu also. I'll request him if he also comes. Then the definition of bhakti could be completed, or otherwise, if he takes for next class, that is also okay. Okay. So part of introduction and first chapter is. Of course, it started. Introduction part of it almost going to complete with the last part of the definition of the bhakti which we are going through. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Free from all the material desires. Jnana karma adi Okay. Any other comments, Prabhu? Sachin Prabhu raised the hand. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you told that Kamsa is pleasing Krishna.
जोर से.
Kamsa is pleasing Krishna,
सुनाई
but
नहीं
he
दे
is not
रहा.
favorable. Audible, bro. It's audible, bro.
हाँ.
You have said that Kamsa is pleasing Krishna, but he is not favorable. So in a sadhaka life, it is not possible, na, bro, that he is pleasing Krishna, but it is not favorable. By not being favorable, how can you please Krishna? It's not even possible. Is it like in sadhaka?
सोचना पड़ेगा. मैं भी ये सोच रहा था. What activities could be pleasing to Krishna but not favorable to devotional service? कुछ बताइए, examples बताइए.
Like if someone is chanting whole day,
हाँ.
it will not be pleasing to Krishna because superiors will not like it, or we are not doing services. So how it can be pleasing to Krishna?
Okay. Yeah. Some. Pleasing to Krishna but not favorable to bhakti. Pleasing to it's not pleasing to Krishna also, na?
Yes, bro. Like one of the thing can't happen with a sadhaka. Like it should be simultaneously both things.
ठीक है. और किसी को पता है इसका आंसर? कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स पूछ रहे हैं कैसे हमारे साधक के जीवन में pleasing to Krishna, not favorable to devotional service.
So I think he's saying right actually sadhakas के applicable नहीं होता है because
हाँ.
sadhakas के applicable नहीं है. सचिन कुछ सही बोल because so बोलते हम शिवपाल भी भगवान को बहुत गाली दे रहा है भगवान का. तो एक तरह का बोलते हैं वो भी एक प्रकार का भगवान के स्मरण कर रहा है. तो वो भी एक तरह से भक्ति है लेकिन वो अनफेवरेबल है. तो ऐसे तो सारे डीमंस भगवान का सिवाय कर रहे हैं लेकिन भक्ति में नहीं आता. लेकिन वो भगवान का दिन
तो साधक के लिए में क्या एग्जाम्पल बोले पाओ? सुनाई नहीं दिया.
तो हमारे लिए एप्लीकेबल नहीं है बोल रहा.
अच्छा, हमारे लिए एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. ठीक है. और
हम लोग मोस्टली डिवोटी से डील करते हैं. तो इवन इफ समटाइम्स इफ we do something which is not favorable, that will not please Krishna because he will not like that somebody is unfavorable towards his devotees. He may like that somebody is unfavorable towards me, but he is pleasing me with his valor and all. But he may not like because mostly we are dealing with the devotees. We are not dealing with Krishna directly.
Okay, तो
वो सिचुएशन हम लोग के लाइफ में शायद नहीं आएगा ब्रो.
अच्छा, हमारे लोग के जीवन में नहीं आ सकता. तो हम लोग के जीवन में नहीं आया तो फिर क्यों मेंशन करते हैं? रूप गोस्वामी मेंशन करने की जरूरत है? मेंशन किया मतलब आएगा ना.
नहीं वो डेफिनेशन मतलब पूरा दिखा रही है कैसे
पूरा ऑल इंक्लूसिव डेफिनेशन दे रहे शायद प्रोजी में.
हाँ, इधर अमर प्रभु बोल रहे हैं
ऐसा हो सकता है कि पता नहीं साधकास का नहीं जानते ब्रो. मतलब नॉन साधकास का एग्जांपल हमको दिख रहा है दो, पर साधकास का तो नहीं दिख रहा है.
हाँ, मतलब हम लोग भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं साधक बनने का. कहाँ साधक बन रहे हैं?
प्रो जी, अगर हम लोग जैसे कृष्ण को अप्रोच करते हैं टेम्पल में और फिर कुछ भगवान को ऑफर कर रहे हैं कि ये मेरे ऐसा फ्लावर्स है, इसको हम या फिर इतना पैसा हम चढ़ा रहे हैं आपको, आप हमको एक बढ़िया सा जॉब दे दो, तो इट इज, तो ये प्लीजिंग भी नहीं होगा क्या? मतलब प्लीजिंग भी नहीं होगा ना या फिर
भगवान से कुछ ये मांगना, क्या बोलते हैं, मतलब मटेरियल विश मांगना।
मटेरियल विश मांगना
किसी को इजी करेगा।
ठीक है, वो सोचो और सोचो, अभी क्लिक नहीं हो रहा, और थोड़ा सा रिसर्च करते हैं। मतलब रिसर्च मतलब आप सोचते एग्जांपल्स और सोच के आते हैं अगले क्लास तक। अच्छा
प्रोजेक्ट में गौरांग ग्रुप बोल रहे थे, एक आदमी आया था, उनको वो बॉक्सिंग ग्लव्स ऑफर कर रहा था राधा गोपीनाथ को। तो प्लीजिंग है या फेवरेबल है पता नहीं क्या।
हाँ हो सकता है, थोड़ा थोड़ा हो सकता है, बट थोड़ा सा और रिसर्च करना, क्योंकि इसमें कुछ तो
साधका नहीं है ना तो मतलब हम
साधक नहीं, ठीक है, मतलब साधक मतलब एक्सक्लूसिव साधक का पोटेंशियल डिवोटी है ना,
पोटेंशियल डिवोटी। जैसे औरंगजेब अटैक करता था मराठास पे, तो मराठास यूज्ड टू फाइट विद हिम, सो एक वैलर देखने मिलता था, शायद लॉर्ड को अच्छा लगता उन्हें भी।
लॉर्ड को अच्छा लग सकता है, हाँ वही वो एग्जांपल सिमिलर लाइंस पे है तो है ही है। डीमंस जब अटैक करते हैं, डीमंस अटैक करते हैं कृष्णा के ऊपर, कृष्णा को तो प्लीजिंग भी लग रहा है क्योंकि वो तो वीर रस एंजॉय कर रहा है, बट डीमंस के लिए फेवरेबल नहीं ना। तो वैसा हम लोग कुछ कॉन्ट्रास्ट एग्जांपल ऐसा कुछ देख सकते हैं कि हमारे जीवन में ऐसा सोच रहे, मतलब
Too many austerities in sadhana.
प्लीजिंग टू कृष्णा हो सकता है कैसा। सोशल सर्विस बोल रहे हैं, सोशल सर्विस में प्लीजिंग टू कृष्णा बट नॉट फेवरेबल टू भक्ति।
फिलैंथ्रोपी,
doing too many austerities.
हाँ ये भी हो, ऑस्टेरिटीज हो सकता है ना,
Like chanting whole day only, like from morning to evening, like that.
कृष्णा प्लीज हो गया तो भक्ति तो होगी, ये स्टेटमेंट में से कहाँ पे लिखा हुआ प्लीज?
ठीक है, ओके प्रभु।
प्रो जी, अगर टेम्पल के लिए
हाँ।
डोनेशन कोई दे रहा है, बहुत बड़ा डोनेशन दे रहा है, तो कृष्णा प्लीज होंगे, लेकिन उसका इनडायरेक्ट मोटिव आप वो बोल रहा है कि अब मेरे लिए मेरा बड़ा सा नाम होना चाहिए और बोलना चाहिए कि हम ही सबसे बड़े हैं, तो ये मतलब आई एम द डूअर ऐसा।
फिर वो साधका नहीं है ना।
हाँ साधका नहीं,
ऐसे जो साधका नहीं है उसके लिए तो बहुत एग्जांपल मिल जाएगा, मतलब आपका क्वेश्चन साधका पे था ना।
नहीं साधका नहीं है तो भी एग्जांपल कहाँ मिल रहा है, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है तो
साधका तो यही चाहेगा ना प्रो, जो फेवरेबल है वही करेगा।
डोनेशन वाला भी मान कुछ समय के बाद तो उनका भी वो इच्छा चला जाएगा ना, प्यूरिफिकेशन होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा ना।
लेकिन उसको भक्ति नहीं बोलेंगे, मतलब अपना गोल तो है कि वो भक्ति है कि
जैसे
नहीं।
एक बिजनेसमैन थे गुजरात के, तो वो अपने जितना भी अर्निंग था उसका 10% ले जाके तिरुपति में चढ़ाते थे, मतलब हम जब जेबी में थे तो वो आए हुए थे। उनका वैसा कुछ नहीं था कि हमको भक्ति करना ये करना, उनका था कि मेरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट चलता है बालाजी के साथ, मैं कुछ दूंगा आप बहुत, मैं थोड़ा दूंगा आप बहुत दो, जितना भी आप देंगे उसका 10% आपका।
नहीं वो प्रभु जी, हम बोल रहे हैं कि एक ऐसा सेंस बन रहा है कि हम ऐसा कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं, लेकिन काइंड ऑफ पिक्चर में कृष्णा नहीं है, पिक्चर में हम
अच्छा अभी
आई एम डूइंग दिस।
ये अनुकूल ये ना मतलब इंटेंशंस है ना, अभी हम जाते हैं इंटेंशंस है ना, इंटेंशंस के ऊपर वर्क करना पड़ेगा।
मुझे कोई डोनेशन लेके आ रहे हैं मंदिर के लिए, जैसे कि मैं नाम,
हाँ इंटेंशंस के ऊपर वर्क करना पड़ेगा, अभी आ रहा है, मैं वही सोच रहा कहीं तो भूल गया क्या तो इंटेंशंस,
पोस्ट मिले, पावर मिले,
अनुकूल ये नहीं, intentions are more important. Along with the service, intentions are also important. Okay, understanding. So अभी आप जो भी एग्जांपल्स दिए उसमें देखिए intentions अगर है कि intentions अगर गलत है कि मेरे को पैसे ज्यादा कमाना है, मैं इधर दूंगा तो मेरा घर अच्छा वो हो जाएगा, है ना, मैं इधर डिवोटीज के पूरा ब्लैक मनी है मेरा जीवन में, वो मैं कृष्णा को दे दूंगा तो मेरा उधर वाइट हो जाएगा, मनी को वाइट कर लूंगा मैं तो पकड़ा नहीं जाएगा, तो इंटेंशंस मैटर्स। What is the intention behind doing that? It may be it may be a devotional service. They are giving money to build a temple, or they may doing some social service to the devotees. But intention of them is not that. Intention of them is that they want to just get rid some material benefits or some other purpose they are doing. There are some ill motivations behind doing that. So that all could be included in that.
Project one more
हाँ
कि even in sadhaka life also out of envy we may do like अरे ये इतना बढ़िया है सो लेक्चर देते हैं हम तो एकदम और बढ़िया से देके दिखाएंगे हम कितना बड़े भक्त हैं या फिर हम बहुत बड़ा है सो ज्यादा बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करके दिखाएंगे हम बड़े भक्त हैं तो इट्स एनवी है
हाँ
वो
बट वो
प्लीजिंग
इंटेंशन
लेकिन
अच्छी लगती है।
वो प्लीज लेकिन वो
वो
प्लीजिंग भी
वही
नहीं
बोल
है
रहा हूँ।
ओके ओके लेकिन प्लीज
वो प्लीजिंग प्लीजिंग उस समय नहीं हो
लेकिन
सकता है, बट
प्लीजिंग हो
स्लोली।
सकता है ब्रो अगर हम ओके जैसे प्रोपात पहले कंपटीशन वाला चीज भाव लाए थे तो बहुत बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो रहा था तो अल्दो मे बी एवरी ओके ऑल ऑफ देम डिड विद गुड इंटेंशन
पर
मतलब अगर
प्रभुपाद
हम ऐसा
देखिए कि
कर रहे
बाद
हैं
में
कि
इंटेंशन खराब हो गया, डिवोटीज का इन्वेस्ट हो रहा है तो बंद कर दिया ना प्रभुपाद। ब्राह्मण दामोदर बस
हाँ
पार्टी भी बंद कर दिए प्रभुपाद, क्योंकि डिवोटीज डिस्टर्ब हो रहे हैं। तो तमाल कृष्ण महाराज बोल रहे हैं स्टॉप द बुक दामोदर बस पार्टी। इंटेंशंस we can put it to that of intention. What is our intention behind doing this service? Let's make that intentions pure.
तो वो जो प्लीजिंग के प्लीजिंग भी नहीं होगा ना
तो
प्रो
यशोदा अरे बोल यशोदा महाराज के एग्जाम्पल में आप देखेंगे तो apparently it seemed that she was not doing service to Krishna, but her intention was to serve Krishna only. So on a negative scale also, if you go, sometimes devotee may be doing something which may not seems to be like devotional service, but intention of the devotee is to please Krishna.
मैनेजमेंट बोल रहा था कि तुमको गुस्सा करना पड़ेगा,
हाँ.
उठ के चलना पड़ेगा।
Yes. So sometimes it may seems to be like you may not uh, you may not pleasing Krishna. So क्या क्या क्वेश्चन पूछे? If someone is serving Guru and Vaishnavas without good intention, हाँ तो वो भक्ति काम बोलते हैं उसको। इंटेंशन खराब है, वैष्णव को सर्व गुरु को सर्व करो। हाँ, दिस इज गुड एग्जाम्पल, वेरी नाइस, लाइक दिस service is going on, but that is not favorable service. Intention is not good. ठीक है प्रभु, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। कुछ कंफ्यूज हो गए तो छोड़ देने का, ज्यादा कंफ्यूज नहीं हुआ ना?
कंफ्यूज है कि कंफ्यूज हुए कि नहीं ब्रो
बाद में पता चलेगा। ठीक है प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण।